In this video, I'm going to describe the process of configuring Nerdio Manager for Enterprise for high availability for the database component. This is a new function that we've introduced in the 4.6 release, allowing administrators to configure dual resilient databases in a failover group within Azure. In order to configure this, we click into the Nerdio environment tile. We can see this is a premium feature. And we can see that currently we have no replication in place, and we have our current connection string, which is connecting to our existing database. So in order to begin the process of creating a failover group, we simply click the Create Failover Group icon. So I will create my failover group, and I will choose North Europe, my location, because this is geographically reasonably close to UK South, to allow for reasonably low latency communications, and I'll click OK. You can see that our task begins. Currently in the environment we have no failover groups within Azure, and we'll see that a failover group is created once this process completes. Status is currently in progress, and we can see that it's finding the source database, configuring the target database, and arranging replication. And this will take a few minutes to complete. And we can now see that the configuration of the database failover has been completed. You can see the details. So a source database, creating of the target database, and then creating of the group. We can see that the failover group has been created and reasonably close geographically replication. Currently it's set to automatic as the failover policy, but at this point we are still speaking to the primary database. So Nerdio Manager is still speaking to the primary database. And the next step is for us to configure it to speak to the failover group, so that in the event of a failover we can continue talking to the group rather than an individual database. So we can see currently that we have a marker to show that we have active replication. So these two databases are being replicated, but we're still speaking to the original database. What we want to do now is configure our instance to speak to the failover group. This is the endpoint location. Now what we need to do is access our key vault. So we can click here. I've already got the screen open. Access the secrets in the key vault and edit the connection string, which, as I say, currently contains the old value and looks very similar to this. So contains the value of the database, and we want to change that to the new value. I've just hashed out my password here. So the process to do this would be select the connection string. You can see we have a current version. We simply want to create a new version with the new server address in this section. So you can see here that I have replaced my default server address with the target of the failover group, the virtual address of the failover group. And we then just need to update this information within our connection string. So from our key vault, find the secret, which is the connection string, create a new version, enter the value of the secrets, and create. Now what's been created, we just need to restart our NME app service, and we should be good to go. Now I'm within the app service settings. I simply need to restart my app service to enable failover. You can see that currently we have active replication. The warning is showing that it's configured but not using the failover string. So a restart of the app service will resolve this. Now that the app service has been restarted, we can see we have a green tick to show us that we have active replication and failover configured. So we are in a resilient scenario, and we can fail over our databases if required, or rely on auto failover to provide us with that resilience. In order to test failover, this has to be done from the Azure console. You simply need to find your database server, review the failover groups, which will get you to this nice map page, and we can click failover at this point. This will switch us to the secondary database. This is a graceful failover, so it will finish any transactions that are in process. If you choose force failover, it will essentially cut the connections and failover, and the potential for data loss there. You can see that failover is in progress. We get some icons within the console to show us that it's happening. Unfortunately, I think our geographies are too close to see the data transfer information. But if you were slightly further apart, you'd see some nice arrows moving between the two to show that failover was in progress. Yeah, unfortunately, very close together, but that's good from a latency perspective. Whilst this is happening, I still have full access to the Nerdio Manager console, but you can see still responsive. So our primary server is currently a secondary database. You can see not impacted usability at all. The database is very close, so I would imagine this has only added around 1 millisecond of latency to the environment. And we can just click the failover button to fail back again. Process may take a minute or two to complete, but then we'll be back to using, there we go, the primary database as our local database. Secondary is the replica. I hope this video has been useful. Thank you very much for your time. We hope to see you again.